FoodPolicyUS is pleased to present this educational series highlighting issues and debates in our food system. Join us each week as we hear from leaders and innovators around the table.
I think every area of food policy is controversial, and organic is not without its controversy. There are a lot of really well-respected organizations that have come out and said very publicly, organic is not the way. We are not in favor of increasing organic production. And the reason is because organic does have, can have some lower yields than conventional production practices. And a lot of people are concerned that if we just went to organic, we would be, land which is already at a premium, productive land would be even scarcer, and in fact it would force us to move into lands that traditionally have not been open to agriculture, cutting down even more forests, let's say, to produce more corn. So there is that controversy, and then there are, of course, the economic interests in agriculture that have got an interest in continuing the food system as it exists today. But I think organic does have a lot to offer. In the first place, it's the only system that does take into account those other variables that usually are ignored, the soil health and water health, and for example, built into the actual certification. I think that organics can serve as sort of a proving ground for a lot of the practices that I think that even conventional agriculture will eventually have to adopt in some form. Actually, a good example of that is this summer drought. So organic has been shown in some cases to have lower yields, except when you have cases of drought. And so if you believe that the climate is only getting more volatile and that climate shocks are actually going to be a thing of the future, going to become the new norm, then organic may be our first line of defense against some of those types of climate impacts. In a way, organic agriculture reminds me a little bit of the renewable energy field, in that it gets a lot of press. People like to drop it into speeches, but the reality is it's a small part of the total food mix. Organic, depending on the type of crop, you're talking definitely under 10%, sometimes under 5%. There's a lot of room for growth in organics. And if one of the barriers to growth, this is not a sort of a silver bullet, but if one of the barriers to growth is actually the lack of market data for people to make decisions on, then this is something we can address. There are other components as well. Crop science and consumer outreach and the policy pieces are all very important. This is just the part that we chose to focus on. So Mercaris is designed to be the place where you can get data, the most sophisticated understanding of market data on this sector.